aspirants. Welcome to this lecture number 2 of UPSC Essay Strategy. Today we are going to discuss on decoding UPSC essay paper. So in the previous session, through an example of an essay written by me, I had guided you through the essay paper, right? How does an essay paper look? Okay. What are the different components of an essay? How you need to write an essay. So that was a basic introductory session. From today onwards, we are going to actually decode this essay paper. And I hope the sessions will be very fruitful, very helpful, and will guide you in writing beautiful and excellent essay. Okay. So let us proceed ahead with the session. Now, we all know that in the UPSC examination, we have to write two essays, okay? And the essay paper is of 250 marks. 3 hours session is there, okay? Now UPSC mains is about to begin, correct? From this Friday onwards, and on 21st of August, I suppose the essay paper is scheduled, okay? So before that, we will be speaking about how to write an essay so that even you can, when the paper will be out, even you will go through the paper and you will get an idea how to select essay and how to begin writing the essay. Okay. Now, whenever you are selecting an essay, as I have told you, there are two essays. So you have to select two contradictory topics. Okay. So one topic is from economics. Select the second one, which is from history or philosophical or a quote topic where you need to decode a quote. Okay. So like that, first of all, always remember that two diverse topics you need to select. Do not select the topics from the same genre. Okay. No, do not do that because that gives a very monotonous reflection of your creativity. Okay. So you need to show that you are an extremely creative person and you have too many dimensions. And definitely, being a UPSC aspirant studying so many subjects, you will be in a position to explore the different dimensions. Okay. Now, so suppose you have selected the essay number one, the first essay. Okay. Now we know that for one essay, there are 10 to 12 pages. Up till 2024, there used to be 10 pages. In 2025, UPSC had introduced two extra pages, 12 pages. Okay. Now, do you have to complete all the 12 pages? No, not necessary. If you are able to present your idea in 10 pages, you can write 10 pages essay. That's also acceptable. Fine. Okay. Now, throughout this 10 pages, now, for me or for anyone else saying 10 pages, it's fine. But actually, when we write it, even I have written the mains papers thrice. So I know when you start writing an essay that 10 pages are too big. Okay. So whenever you are writing an essay, the first point you need to remember that throughout those 10 pages, you have to stick to the subject of the essay. Whenever you feel that you are diverting from the topic, immediately go to the topic, read the topic, keep the paper in your hand, read what is the topic. So throughout the essay, from first page to the last page, the examiner, the person who is reading your essay, should get a glimpse that you are 100% sticking to the topic of the essay, subject of the essay. So that is the first primary condition. The second important thing is that you need to arrange your ideas in a very orderly fashion in order to create a coherence and continuity in your essay. So, whenever you are writing an essay, do not jump into writing an essay. At the last page, you need to do a rough work. In that rough work, you have to present your ideas and you have to make a rough flow that, okay, first I'm going to present this idea, then this. Then I'm going to write about this particular topic. And then you need to create a flow, an orderly fashion, a continuity. So readers should not get lost. Oh, now you're putting this example, all of a sudden this example is coming. That feeling should not come. There should be a proper flow, proper continuity and coherence for the person who is reading your essay. So that is the second important thing. Okay, the flow is very important in essay. The third important thing, your essay should be effective. It should have a long lasting impact on the reader, and that will come through exact expression. And when will that exact expression will come? When you will decode the essay topic exactly. So understanding that topic exactly, putting an impact on the examiner is quite important. Okay. So these are the initial points which you have to keep in your mind while writing an essay. Okay. First of all, throughout those 10 pages, ensure that you are sticking to the subject of the essay. You are not diverging yourself. You are not diverting yourself from here and there. Okay, stick to the topic. Second important thing, the flow, the orderly fashion, the coherence, the synchronization should be evident in your writing. Third important thing, your essay should be effective. By the end, when you are completing your 10th page of the essay, it should put an impact on the reader. Reader should be like mesmerized by your writing. So that is the prerequisite for writing an essay. Okay. Now let us proceed ahead. Now, while writing an essay, you have to emphasize on 5 C's. Okay. There are 5 C's which you have to keep in your mind while you are attempting an essay. The first thing, clarity of thought. You should be very clear with the topic of the essay and what do you want to present on the paper. So the clarity in your thinking is extremely important. One thing I would like to tell over here, keep your ideas simple and clear. Do not put too many jargonic ideologies or too many jargonic words. Okay. Your expression should be simple, clear, intelligible to the reader, and the reader should be able to comprehend your thought clearly. Whatever you want to express, that should exactly be conveyed to the reader, to the examiner. Okay. So, for that, simple, clear understanding of the topic and clear representation on the paper is the requisite. Okay. So, that is the first thing. Clarity of the thought is the required thing. Second important thing, concise. Concise means what? You should use few words to explain the bigger concept. Okay. So for one thing, you should not write 3 to 4 lines to explain that one particular topic. No. In few words, you should be able to create a big impact on the reader. Getting it? So be concise, be comprehensive. Comprehensive, it's a different dynamics. I'll come to it later on. Be concise, to the point. Try to convey your ideas in a simple, effective, and concise manner. Do not use 3 to 4 lines to represent one single idea. Let it come in 1 or 2 lines. That's it. Okay. Third is compelling. Your essay should be effective, marking an impression on the reader, and it should be convincing. Compelling means what? It should compel the reader to read it till the end. So you have to keep on engaging the reader. And this engagement will come through different dimensions of the essay, which we will be understanding. Okay. So the third important thing should be compelling. So see, imagine that reader has to read so many papers, so many essay papers. Okay. And there are 2 essays each person will write. Getting it? So, and that each essay has 10 pages. So you have to convince someone to read those 10 pages. For that, your writing should be so effective, so compelling, and so convincing that the person should be able to read it till the end. So that expression should come, that exact quality and expression should come in your writing. Fourth is captivating. Captivating in the sense he should be mesmerized when he ends your essay. So when he ends your conclusion, he should be like, oh wow, what a thought, what an idea. Captivating, engaging, mesmerizing. That impression should be there on the examiner. And finally, your essay should be comprehensive. Comprehensive means what? It should not be one dimensional. It should not be monotonous. You should basically explore the different dimensions. Dimensions, when I say, if you're taking one thought, for that one thought, you have to give different examples. The example could be an individual, national, international. The example could be from social, political, economic, cultural, historical. So, like that, you have to explore the different dimensions and you have to give a holistic idea. Getting it? So, these 5 C's are very important to write a very effective essay. So, please remember this 5 C's. First is the clarity of the thought. The exact thought should come on your paper. Second, concise. Few words should give a larger idea. Third, compelling, engaging. Okay. Fourth is captivating, mesmerizing. And fifth is holistic and comprehensive. So please remember this 5 C's whenever you are trying to attempt an essay paper. Okay. Then the most important part where we all are stuck, that is the structure of the essay. So today I'm going to explain how your essay should look. What is the exact structure of the essay? Okay. Now, as I've told you, approximately 10 pages will be there. Okay. Now, like a GS answer, we all know what is the structure of the GS answer. There's an introduction, there's a body, there's a conclusion. Same setup is there in your essay as well. There's an introductory part, there is a body part, and there is a concluding part. Okay. Now, let us consider this 10 pages as 100%. Out of this 100%, your introductory part, your introduction should comprise 20% of your essay. Okay. So, introduction. Introduction is the part where you are trying to introduce the topic to the examiner. You are going to provide the context. You're going to present your thesis, your approach. That should comprise 20% of your essay. Okay. Next is the body part. The body part is the part where you are going to develop your idea of essay, where you are going to analyze your essay, where you are going to discuss the different dimensions of the topic, where you are going to argument, counter argument, give facts, give perspectives, give solutions. So that is the very big part of your essay. And that should cover 70% of your essay pages. Okay, so out of the 10 pages, 20% should be your introductory part, your 70% should be your body part, and remaining 10% of your essay is your concluding part, your conclusion. So conclusion should be short, precise, and there are certain paragraphs in which you need to end the conclusion, which I'll be explaining. Okay, so I hope a structure of the essay is pretty clear. Okay, so an essay should comprise the three broad parts: an introductory part, a body, and a conclusion. Your introduction is 20% part of your essay paper. Okay, your body, so 20%, I would say, out of the 10 pages, you can utilize 1.5 page or 2 pages for your introductory part. Okay, so I will say you can use 2 pages for your introductory part. Okay, then you can use 7 pages for your body, and your 1 page should be for your conclusion. I'll write over here so that it would be clear. So when I'm saying that your introduction is 20%, so you can use 1.5 to up to 2 pages. So out of the 10 pages, 1.5 to 2 pages should go for your introduction. Okay. Next is your body. So your body should comprise max to max 7 pages. Okay. And finally, your last page should be your conclusion. So 1 page for your conclusion. So in this manner, you need to write an essay. Okay. Now, this entire essay, you need to phrase it into paragraphs. Okay, so you need to write it into paragraphs. Approximately, how many paragraphs should be there? So, approximately, there should be around 15 paragraphs while writing an essay. Okay, so how to divide this 15 paragraphs? I'm telling you, approximately 15. You can take it max to max up to 20, I would suggest. Okay, 15 to 20 are more than enough. Minimum 15 paragraphs you require, but some people may want to add more and more arguments. Then you can stretch it up to 20 paras, but nothing more beyond that. Okay, so this is an ideal structure. 15 to 20 paragraphs are more than enough. Fine. Now, when I talk about introduction part, in the introductory part, you can add max to max 2 to 3 paras. Okay, so as I've told you, you will write 1.5 to up to 2 pages for your introduction. In that introduction, you need to introduce your topic in 2 to 3 paras. Okay, max to max 2 to 3 paragraphs are more than enough for writing an introduction. Okay, then your body. So the body is the main part where you need to write up to 10 to 12 paras, because you will be utilizing 7 pages over here, right? So for that 7 pages, you will require at least 10 to 12 paragraphs, fine? And the concluding part, the last part is your conclusion, where you need to write 2 paragraphs. Fine. I hope the structure of the essay is pretty clear to you all. Okay. So once again, if you want, I'll revise this. So an essay comprises of an introductory part, which is the 20% of your essay area. Body is the 70% part of your essay, and conclusion is the 10%. Okay. You will be given 10 pages to write an essay. Approximately, you will write this essay in 15 to 20 paragraphs. Okay. For introduction, you are expected to write 2 to 3 paragraphs. Okay. For body, I would suggest 10 to 12 paras. And for conclusion, 2 paragraphs are more than enough. Okay. Now, in each session, I will be explaining you how to write a particular part. Like, for example, today we are going to discuss the introductory part. In the upcoming session, I will be telling you how to work on the body area, and then we'll be coming towards the conclusion part. Okay. So today we will be emphasizing on the introductory part of the essay, how to write an introduction. Okay. So let us proceed ahead. So the basic structure of the essay, I hope it is pretty clear to all of you. Now we will be proceeding ahead with the introductory part. Okay. I will share an essay written by me. Just a second. Okay. So this is an essay written by me lately last year when I was giving my mains, okay, 2025. So the topic is revolutions are the locomotives of history. So since my optional was history, I chose a topic from history. Okay. So the topic is revolutions. So we all know revolutions. There are so many revolutions. Okay. French Revolution, American Revolution. Okay. Like that. So revolutions are the locomotives, engines of history. Now, by the way, this statement is a statement of Karl Marx. Okay. So I'm through this essay, I'm going to explain you how to write an introduction. Okay. So as I've told you, there are 2 to 3 paragraphs you need to write in introduction. So in the introduction, you are going to introduce the topic to the examiner. So what is the topic? Revolutions are the locomotives of the history. So my first 2 paragraphs should emphasize that I am going to justify, I'm going to explain the topic to the examiner, and I'm going to show to the examiner that the topic is clear to me. Pretty clear? So let us now understand how I have written this essay and I have decoded the topic. Okay. So revolutions are the locomotives of history. So first of all, I've written about history. History is not merely a chronological record of events. Okay. So history is not just a chronological record of events, but it is a story of change. At certain moments, that is, at certain times, societies experience profound changes that alter the course of human civilization. So, basically, what is revolution? Revolution is basically a change. So, that I wanted to highlight that okay, history is not just a chronological record of events, history is a story of change. And a certain point comes in the society where society experiences a profound change that alters the course of human civilization. Karl Marx described those moments as the locomotives of history. So that changing moments, Karl Marx have declared them or have defined them as the engines of history, as the locomotives of history, suggesting that revolutions are the engines that propel societies from one historical stage to another. So basically, I'm trying to decode the statement, revolutions are the locomotives of history. So here I'm trying to tell that Karl Marx describes those moments. So I have explained a moment that at certain moments societies experience profound change that alter the course of human civilization. So I have mentioned that those moments Karl Marx described them as locomotives of history, suggesting that revolutions are the engines that propel societies from one historical stage to another. Propel that change, or you can say transform society from one stage to another. Just as the locomotives pull the entire train towards its destination. So I'm trying to compare. So what the essay says, revolutions are the locomotives of history. Okay. So I am trying to link this both the topics, both the words. Okay. So here I'm mentioning that just like the locomotive, the engine pulls the entire train towards its destination. Similarly, revolution drives humanity towards new political, social, economic, and intellectual orders. Okay. Further, so I'll just take it down. Yeah. However, so I'm beginning the second paragraph. However, I'm basically changing the tone. So I have used the second paragraph. However, revolutions are not just confined to armed rebellion. Whenever we hear this word revolution, there is always a picturization in front of our eyes that there is a bloody war, there is a bloodshed, okay? Armed rebellion. Usually that is the connotation of a revolution. But here I want to emphasize that revolutions are not just confined to armed rebellions. they include the other aspects also. So they include social, political, economic, scientific, technological, cultural, and moral transformation. So if you know revolution, so see, American Revolution, French Revolution, these are the examples of the actual armed rebellions. But apart from that, we had Renaissance, we had Reformation, we had Industrial Revolution, we had the artificial intelligence revolution, we had Internet revolution. What are these examples? These are examples of the revolutions in different fields. So our picturization of a revolution as an armed revolution is a very restrictive one. Apart from that, we even have the different dimensions of revolutions that I wanted to highlight over here. Okay. When I've mentioned that while some revolutions are violent, okay, while some are violent, definitely we need to acknowledge that some revolutions are violent. At the same time, others are peaceful too. Some succeed spectacularly, while others produce unintended consequences. So some revolutions succeed, get the result what they want, but some produce some aftermath, some unintended consequences also. But whatever is the nature of the revolution, they all leave an enduring impact and imprint on the history. Okay. So basically, what I have done in these two paragraphs, I have introduced the entire topic and I have tried to explain to the examiner that yes, I have understood the topic, that revolutions are the locomotives of history. I know that the statement was given by Karl Marx. So I have mentioned the name of Karl Marx also, that Karl Marx described these revolutions as the locomotives of history. And I have tried to explain how these locomotives try to drive the different dimensions and have an impact on the history. Okay. So this is the first part of the introduction. As I told you that in introduction, you need to write 2 to 3 paragraphs. So in the first 2 paragraphs, what did I do? I explained the topic to the examiner. Fine. Now, the third part of the introduction is the exploratory statement. Now, this is very important. Now, in the third paragraph, what I have written, let us emphasize on that. So I have written that what we are going to explore in this essay. So I've mentioned that in this essay, we are going to explore the myriad aspects of revolution as an agent of change. Okay. So basically, I want to tell that revolution is definitely an agent of change. And in this particular essay, I'm going to explore that dimension of revolution as an agent of change. Further, we are going to address the question, are revolution always beneficial? Okay. So see, in a particular essay, you have to explore the different aspects of the topic. Okay. So you have to write positives, you need to write negatives. At the same time, you need to give a balanced approach. You cannot be completely against the topic, you cannot be completely in for of the topic, but you have to give, always remember, you have to give a balanced opinion. So first of all, I am mentioning a positive thing, that I'm going to explore how revolution is an agent of change. At the same time, I'm going to address a very important question in this essay. That question is, are revolution always beneficial? It means that I'm going to tell the negative aspects of the revolution as well. Next, lastly, we will ponder upon the factors that truly determine the success of any revolution. So I'm going to explore, okay, what are the factors that actually make any revolution successful and long lasting. Okay, so in this manner, what I have done in this paragraph, I have written the flow of my essay. That in this essay, a reader is going to uh, reader is going to expect this flow. That is, first of all, I'm going to explain how revolution is going to be an agent of change. Then I'm going to explain, are all the revolutions beneficial? So I'm going to explore that. So I'm going to tell you what are the negative examples of the impact of a revolution. And third thing, I'm going to explain that, okay, what are the factors that actually bring a positive outcome out of a revolution, or what are the factors that make a particular revolution successful, that I'm going to explain. So after reading this paragraph, the reader gets an idea, okay, she is going to explore these many dimensions in this essay. So the third paragraph of your introduction is this para, where you are going to explain what you are going to explore in this essay. Okay. And then I have mentioned the last line, if you just a second. Yeah. So let us begin our journey by exploring the myriad dimensions of revolution as an instrument of change. So I've said that. Okay, now I'm going to begin with the very first aspect. My first aspect of the essay is revolution as an instrument of change. So I've written over here. So let us begin our journey by exploring the myriad aspects of revolution as an instrument of change. Okay. So in this manner, you are supposed to write an introduction to an essay. Okay. I hope it is pretty clear. At least you might have got an idea about how to proceed with the essay writing. Okay. That's it for the day. So in today's session, we have understood the key important aspects of an essay, the key important aspects in the sense we have understood what are the points you need to remember while writing an essay. So, first of all, while choosing a topic, please select the two diverse topics. Okay. First of all, the points you need to remember is that you should be very clear with the topic. If you do not have the clear idea of the topic, then it becomes very difficult to write 10 pages on that essay. Okay. So, clarity of the topic is very important. Flow, coherence, continuity, synchronization, very important. And exact expression should come in your language. Okay. Do not play too much with the words. Be clear, be simple. Okay. So, that all things you need to remember. Then we understood the 5 C's. Okay. So, please keep that in your mind. And finally, today we understood the introductory part. Okay, so as I have told you, there are 2 to 3 paragraphs you need to write in an introduction. So depends upon you, how do you want to begin the introduction? You may begin an introduction with a story, you may begin with yet another quote, you may begin with a scenario, or you may link it with the current affairs. So it's up to you, how do you want to begin your essay. Okay, so you can begin it with the simple explanation of the topic, which I did in this essay. So see, your strategy depends upon the topic. Now in this topic, the revolutions are the locomotives of history. What I did, the same quote, I began to decode it with the help of a few lines, and I described Karl Marx. What did he say? And I decoded it. In the earlier essay, which I discussed in the very first session, okay, at that time, in that essay, I used the anecdote, I used the life story of Baba Sahib Ambedkar to explain the topic. So, depending upon the essay topic, you can choose your introduction. Okay, so introduce it into 1 to 2 paragraphs, and the third paragraph of the introduction is the one which will give the reader the different dimensions. Rather than saying dimension, it will give the reader an idea of the flow of your essay, what you are going to explore in that essay. Okay, so I hope it is pretty clear. In the upcoming session, I will be talking about the body part. Okay, how to proceed ahead with writing the body of essay. Okay, so thank you so much. You can visit our channel History for UPSC, where there are dedicated lectures on ancient Indian history. So currently the ancient Indian history course is going on, so you can join us there as well. Thank you so much. Thank you.